Hi, in a recent repair video I got out a bit of kit that I haven't used for a long time, this Keithley 2302 battery simulator, and I was going to use it as part of that repair video, but I went to use it and, well, the fan turns on, but so it has failed. Now, if you haven't seen inside this thing, it's a very cool bit of kit. I'll link in the video. It's actually from 7 years ago. I did a teardown of this, so I'll link that in if you haven't seen it. Really interesting stuff. But I looked at that video again and I noticed that, yeah, it did work back then, but the vacuum fluorescent display in it was quite dim and hard to read. So yeah, in that time, it's gone ski. And sorry, I can't remember who it was, but I think somebody commented that I'm paraphrasing a bit, but basically, if you don't take out your test equipment periodically and use them, they just die of loneliness. And, well, I think that's what's happened here. So, yeah, let's take a look. There's 2 screws here. Take those out, and I think it just slides. Does it just slide out, or has it got 1 screw on the bottom? Oh, yeah, it's got multiple screws on the bottom. Oh, all right, we have the screws out. Oh, it comes out nice and smooth. Look at that. There you go, glorious 4K resolution for those playing along at home. One massive board, but anyway, I won't go into it. We've looked at the teardown extensively before, but just look. Not sure if I did it in 4K last time, but there you go, for those playing along at home. But anyway, we have a separate display board here, but it's actually 2 boards. Looks like there's the actual display board and then the vacuum fluorescent display board. Aha! And that board also controls the front panel membrane keypad as well, just going on there. But yeah, old school PLCC soldered down. So let's get that out. Luckily, there's a nice connector there, which of course doesn't come out unless you remove this main board. You go, what? Are you kidding me? Hang on. Oh, can I bend it? Don't want to break the blood. Oh, seriously? Come on. Little cutout in there would have been nice. Just saying. PCB designer. Now, you see, that's what happens when the PCB designer doesn't talk to, like, the housing person. They're not the same, or at the design review meeting, they just, like, didn't think about it. And when somebody was, they built up the first prototypes, nobody complained and fed that back to the PCB designer for the next rev. Oh, yeah, can you just add a cutout there, please? But, of course, I'm just having a whinge because you can't actually just up, do 2 at the same time. There you go. You can actually get this out. So the little embedded threads in there are nice. And then that just pops out like that. Beautiful. And dual board construction there, but you can see that in the teardown video, and I like the big clunking switch which goes right to the back, does it? Yeah, it looks like it. Big shaft. I don't love a big long plastic shaft like that. That's what she said. USA, USA, USA. Look at that. Keithley, is that copyright 1999 there? So, it's party like it's 1999. I wonder what the extra connector there was for, and some extra unpopulated stuff. I don't know, is that like maybe like some sort of serial interface that goes off via this like RJ11 thing? Without getting it out, we can already see a part number in there. Is it going to be that easy? Do I just have to buy a new vacuum fluorescent board? These are usually pretty standard. As you saw, it was like a 16x2 dot matrix jobby. So, it should be pretty standard. Metal threaded inserts. Oh, Bobby Dazzler. Also got some extra standoffs on the bottom there. But, yeah, that's just going to flip out. And there's the culprit. There you go. Looks like just a standard, a 16-pin inline interface there. Should be able to get a replacement for that, either vacuum fluorescent or LCD. But of course, Bloody Murphy had to be soldered in, didn't it? Yeah, just my luck. All right, I got to actually do some hard work here. My Rhino Tools ZD985 is kind of starting to suck, and not in a good way. It's just everything's loosey-goosey on it, and it's been okay, but yeah, I think I'm in the market for a new sucker. So there you have it, VFM162SDAR8, made in China, and that's it's a Newhaven display jobby. There you go. Newhaven are one of the bigger LCD like suppliers. They were kind of like, they'd be one of my handful of go-to ones that, you know, if I'm looking for like displays and stuff, yeah, they'd be it. But of course, it's vacuum fluorescent displays. So of course, these things are famously, yeah, just all the vacuum escapes from it, and once that happens, yeah, she's no good anymore, so who knows what's wrong with that thing, but it's almost certainly, I would be 99.9% sure it's the vacuum fluorescent display that's failed, rather than any electronics on there, or any electronics on this drive-in board here. In fact, I wouldn't even bother measuring the signals going to this. I'd just order a new screen like this, but yeah, maybe we can just have a little pokesy, see if the signals are there, but I'm pretty darn sure they are. You can see here what looks like a serial interface. They've got this silk screened on here, but they've also got the traces going to the other pins over here. So I think this might be a combo series parallel. I'll actually get the data sheet for this and I'll whack it up, and I think we'll find that. So I don't know if it's operating in serial mode or parallel mode. So let's just probe pin 3 there, the serial pin. Pin 1's ground, pin 3's serial, and just see if we get anything serial. If not, we move over to the parallel. Just a little pro tip here, when you're probing stuff like this, you don't want to like be accidentally shorting out pins, and if you've got, you know, your big crocodile clip on your scope probe here, then that can be a problem. So what I want to do is just find a more convenient ground point, and sure enough, the chassis there is connected. So we can just connect our scope probe to the chassis ground like that, no worries. And because it's all mains earth reference, scope's mains earth reference, and so is this chassis. So not a problem, not the best signal integrity, but for just probing to see if a signal's there, you don't really care about signal integrity. All right, so we're 1 volt per division here, and we're picking up some 50 hertz AC mains there, triggered just above that. So switch the power on. I'm probing pin 3 here. So we're getting diddly squat. So either the processor or whatever else inside here has failed, or it's using the parallel, because on a parallel interface, that pin 3 is not used for anything, I believe. So let's go to a random one over here. Bingo! Hello! And we'll single shot capture that. So yeah, excellent. Data's there. And when I talk about signal integrity, by the way, look, that's pretty good. I mean, the really piss poor probing that we've got here, right? This big antenna earth lead, we've got the big wire coming out here, it's picking up 50 hertz like there's no tomorrow. It doesn't matter, because we're not measuring. When I talk about signal integrity, I'm talking about how the signal looks. Like, is there any overshoot? Is there any undershoot? In this particular case, there's nothing, so it's actually pretty good. So yeah, so you don't really have to worry about, when you're just looking at signals like this, don't have to worry about that you've got, you know, in this particular case, like I'm not even trying to probe it with this, because you could accidentally short out pins with your easy hook on there. So you just get like an extended bit of wire coming out like that, and just go to the chassis here with your ground, and Bob's your uncle. No wuckers. So the answer is that looks fine. It's continually updating the screen there. You jump to some other pins there. Yep, so it's obviously a parallel interface like that. No problems whatsoever. So yeah, data's getting to there. That's some higher frequency stuff there, so we can single shot capture that, and we can really go in on that. So yeah, not a problem. So yes, this board still works, so it's exactly what I originally suspected, but of course, you know, it takes a couple of seconds to, you know, like a minute to hook your scope up and actually test this. So trust and verify, but you know, I was 99% sure it was the failed vacuum fluorescent display. So let's go have a squiz, see if we can still get this or some sort of replacement. So if we type that number into the Googlies, there's actually no hits, but it actually shows up as images. We've got a Newhaven display. Sure enough, there's more images, but no, there's no like text results for this, link results at all. So this is not quite the same number, but if you jump over to it, and this is Octopart, which is an aggregator of different suppliers here, you can see that there's 16 in stock at onlinecomponents.com. I've used them before for parts for my microcurrent and other projects. Mouser.com, Master Electronics, and Zero at Hawk. So yeah, if we jump over to Mouser over here, sure enough, vacuum fluorescent display VFD 2x16, and we've got a data sheet, but it's not quite the same number. So I don't know how it correlated that number there, because if you search this page for the actual thing, like there's no other information, like there's an alternate part number down here, but that's not it. So I guess Google determined that that's the nearest hit, and I don't know, but anyway, we have a data sheet. And if you search the Newhaven Display website, you don't get anything for that part number at all. But granted, this is 25 years old. So yeah, it could be a well discontinued model. So this one, initial release is 2011. So this is way after. So yeah, maybe this is just the new model for it. But yeah, without any identical like, part references or with a data sheet for the original one, I can't tell if it's going to be exactly the same. But that looks like 84 by 44. That looks correct. Yeah. 84 by 44. Yep, holes are in the right location. It's important to get your holes in the right location. And sure enough, it is parallel and serial interface, exactly the same pinout VSS, which is ground on pin 1, pin 2 is VDD, pin 3 is that serial input output, which we didn't get a signal on. And up here, because we know we're operating in parallel mode, yeah, it's NC, not connected, or it could be slash reset. In this case, it's not connected. So if you see that 50 Hertz mains hum like we did on the scope there, then you know that the signal is basically open and it's picking up just the 50 Hertz from the air because it's a high impedance input on the scope. Whereas if you connect that to a digital signal, even if that digital signal is low, that's a low impedance drive signal. It's a low impedance signal, so that 50 Hertz is going to be vanished because you've got a low impedance drive there. So we knew that that pin was open, so it is actually not connected. There you go. It's got different jumper settings which you can set: parallel M68 default, parallel I80, that's an Intel 8080 interface. So which one the Keithley's actually implementing, I don't actually know. Might have to look through my original teardown video to see what processor it was using, maybe. Anyway, the M68, that would be the 6800 processor. So, you know, Intel and Motorola competition there for their interface settings. So yeah, without knowing anything about this original jobby, you have to assume that this is like the closest we're going to get. I guess, like, you know, I could go in there, you could hook your logic analyzer up and you could get the signals to know exactly which interface it is. But, you know, that's like a lot of time and effort. It's easier just to cross your fingers, hope to Murphy that your LCD replacement that you're going to get is going to fit. Now, we could probably get an LCD replacement for that instead of with the same interface and the same protocol and everything as a vacuum fluorescent. But given that we don't have any information on this original one, and I don't really want to spend the time going in and double checking the signals, I'm better off just ordering this from Mouser. What is it, 66 Aussie bucks? You know, it's a bit pricey, but hey, it gets a very expensive bit of kit up and running with probably the best chance that we're going to have without putting a lot of time and effort into this. Time and effort costs money. As interesting as it might be to go down that rabbit hole. Now I'm just going to have a look at the vacuum fluorescent displays on here. 7 segment displays, dot matrix displays, or VFD modules. That's the one. The 162SDAR8. Yeah, it's current one. 67, that'd be Yankee bucks. So looks like I'm getting it pretty cheap actually. Oh, there's an SD and there's an MD. One is a 5x8 and one is a 5x7. Yeah, I definitely count 8 there, and this one is physically different to this one over here. So this is almost like, this is, as I said, without any data, this is the best bet we've got. And we'll whack this into fine chips as well, just to see. DigiKey have 0 stock. Minimum quantity 1,000. No thanks. Verical $41. Mouser, yeah, it looks like Mouser's the best bet. Online components are $31, but that's 1,000 of price. But they've only got 16 in stock. So yeah, I do have an account with Online Components, so we can actually see. Oh no, they want $59. There you go, each. So it looks like Mouse is the go. Now I asked Grok, and it did come up with a potentially alternative part number here, which is KH162SD8. $251. And sure enough, it pulls up that Newhaven one there as well. So that's interesting. Display Tech. Whoa, okay. DigiKey Australia. Okay, so there is one, and that looks like it's sort of like Alibaba, AliExpress kind of thing. Okay, it's available from kinghai.com, yeah, madeinchina.com, oh, and eBay as well. Yeah, nah, that doesn't look like it's compatible, does it? Nope. That one looks like it might be. Anyway, they got 314 in stock at 27. Is that Aussie bucks or Yankee bucks? It's the Aussie flag up there. So that is a potential cheaper LCD replacement, perhaps. No, but see, like that's going to have like pin 3 as the operating voltage for the LCD, and this doesn't have like the serial interface compatibility that the other one has, that the original has. So yeah, nah, look, I think you could probably almost certainly, get an LCD working here, but yeah, as I said, like the time and effort required to sort of like make sure you got the right one it's worth a lot more than paying the $60 just to get the replacement and, 80% confident it's going to work kind of thing. If I hold up that board there, and you can check out that it's pretty identical, isn't it? The layout of all the resistors and everything is absolutely, like the jumper links and the boost converter circuit there, like it is identical. So yeah, confidence is high. I repeat, confidence is high.
Confidence is high. I repeat, confidence is high.
And the part number at the end, the 162SDAR8, is exactly the same. So it looks like they just changed it from the VFM that's here to that new part number, but they haven't changed the PCB layout like at all. So yeah, we got pretty lucky there. That Newhaven Display, and that's one of the advantages of going with one of these major manufacturers, is they'll usually keep compatibility with legacy products like this. It would have been nice to like have on the data sheet or on the website that yeah, this is compatible with the old one. I'm presuming it is still fully compatible, because yeah, it looks the same, but I think we found a winner, and I can get that for 60 Aussie bucks with free FedEx delivery. Beauty. All right, I thought I'd have a look in my LCD tubs, where I just keep a whole bunch of displays, both actually quite a few vacuum fluorescents and also LCDs as well. I didn't have any direct 16x2 vacuum fluorescents like this Newhaven one, but and of course, I got a bunch of these, but that is a totally different physical form factor in terms of the pinout. But I did find this LCD here, which is basically absolutely identical footprint. They were actually similar part numbers. This is JHD162D, and this is also a 162SD. So they're not too far off, but yeah, you'd have to go into the minutiae of the data sheet, I'm afraid. But you have to be careful with this. Can you spot the difference between these two boards? Yeah, leave it in the comments down below before we continue. Can you spot it? Can you spot it? I'll put you out of your misery if you couldn't. Yeah, this one has 16 pins, this one has 14, and you'll notice how the pin number here goes 15, 16, and then 1. So 1 to 14 actually matches these ones here, like this. It physically matches like that, but they've got the 2 extra pins over here, and that goes off to the well, usually, yeah, to the LED backlight. There it is down in there. Yeah, so you've got to be careful with that. We've got to actually shift it over by 2 and start it from there, not from there. So we'll do that, and we shouldn't have to solder it in. We should just be able to physically hold that in place, probably. Put a bit of pressure on it, like angular pressure, and those pins should hold in there like that. So let's start that up and see if we get it, see if we get lucky. No, we don't. It's a bit of a bummer. But you remember how we said that pin 3 there wasn't going to anywhere, and sure enough, I've had a squiz and there seems to be no trace going off pin 3 there. So that was floating, so you can actually measure that compared to ground, and sure enough, it's not going off floating. And you know, like you do any of the other pins, and they're obviously connected to some sort of like semiconductor. So pin 3 is floating. And what's pin 3 on this? Well, that's the LCD contrast voltage. So that, you know, leaving that floating, that might, the display might be working, but it may not have the correct contrast voltage on there. Okay, so what I've done is just grounded pin 3 there, and we'll see if that makes a difference, shall we? All right, let's put pressure on that again, and let's power that up. Whoa, hello. We have a flashing cursor. Oh, look, winner, chicken dinner. Look at that, works a treat. Oh, I knew that grounding it would, usually that's, you know, the right contrast voltage. I mean, you can put a pot on there, but yeah, that's fantastic. We have a winner from the junk bin. Oh. Whoa, what's that? That's what happens when you don't solder it on. Oops. So I've soldered that back on, and ta-da, it does take a bit to boot up, but flashing cursor, and I'm actually happy with that. That's actually a really nice display. And look, it's even still got the protective film on it. And I just happen to have 3 of these displays in my literal display junk bin, labelled displays. I'm very happy with that. You know, I kind of like vacuum fluorescent as much as anyone, but, you know, like, that gets me out of trouble, no problems whatsoever. And I could, like, power on the backlight. I could just solder in the backlight if I really wanted a backlit version as well. But I really like that. That's just nice. So I'm just going to stick with that. I'm going to call that a win from the junk bin. Fantastic. So let that be a lesson to you. It pays to keep a junk bin full of parts like this. So it's not often that I get a win like that, but Murphy must be sleeping today. I'll take it. Whoa, hang on. I put it back together and, what's going on? Did I miss that it had like that looks like a filter or something on there? Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Oops. Yeah, that has like is that a polarizing filter? Or is that just really dark? Wouldn't that be just my luck that it has the polarizing filter opposite to the polarizing filter inside the LCD here? That'd be hilarious. So check it out. It works just fine. And if I put the screen over it, yeah, it filters it out. What if I turn it 90 degrees? No, still can't see it. So, yeah, what? That's annoying, isn't it? Do I need the vacuum fluorescent? Like, if I add a backlight to it, is that going to be enough? I don't know, because these are black. So, yeah. Damn, I think I've come a gutser at the last minute by the bloody filter on the front. Are you kidding me? And I can't just remove that. Well, I could cut it out. But that is integral with the decal on the front. Oh, are you kidding me? After that win, that solid epic win, I'm going to have an actual radiative display, like an actual emitting display, like the vacuum fluorescent. I might have to order the vacuum fluorescent, because I don't really want to butcher the front like that, but, oh man, unbelievable. What are the odds? Yeah, that's the EEVblog in a nutshell. Bloody Murphy. Unbelievable. Come on, but at least give me credit for that win. All right, I turned the backlight on. There you go, just added a couple of jumper links down the bottom there. There you go. That's a Bobby Dazzler, isn't it? Oh, look. Oh, it kind of sort of works. Kind of sort of. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to take that for a win for now until I can get maybe a vacuum fluorescent display replacement. Oh, but geez, unbelievable. All right, watch this bad boy in action. Look at that. Come on, you can do it. Flishy flash, and ta-da! Excellent. And now we can go display, type 1, and of course it's all going to work because the only issue was the actual display. Yeah, that's not a great display because of that filter on there, but it actually it does work. So with the backlight, but I might order the vacuum fluorescent display anyway, just to give it its original look and feel. But yeah, there you go. I hope you like that video. Can you see that on the screen? I think you can. It's actually kind of like more readable than it actually was originally with the faded vacuum fluorescent display. So that's definitely a winner chicken dinner. But I had to earn my dinner this time by raiding my junk bin to find the exact replacement, and then to be thwarted by the first jumper link required, which was for the LCD contrast voltage. So we had to pull that pin down to 0 to actually get that thing working, and then foiled by the actual display filter thing on it, which is completely black. Couldn't see a damn thing. And, well, the backlight works, but yeah, I'll get the new vacuum fluorescent display and make it look all better. But I won't do a follow-up video on that. But, you know, follow me on X, on the Twitters, and I'll post a photo of that when that comes in and I replace that. But I've got to go in and desolder the whole bloody thing again. Ugh. Anyway, that was a rather interesting repair video. I hope you agree. If you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. And as always, discuss down below. And check out the EEVblog.store because you can get the new BM2257 with the, whoa, look at that orange backlight on it. Oh, Bobby Dazzler. BM2257 available over on EEVblog.store. Catch you next time.